One of the big differences between Xenoblade Chronicles X and the rest of the series is the fact that there's not really a main character. You have primary characters like Lyn and Elma, but they aren't exactly the character that you play as, because the big thing with X is that you create your own character, and this is mainly done to tie into the online aspect of the game, where you can send your character out to other players, they can use them to put in their party, and have the advantages that your character has. So if someone is struggling with a certain boss, they can go to the online, select your character, find them to be pretty good, and put them in their party to help out with that section that they're dealing with. Now, of course, they don't get the benefits of using the NPC members, such as increasing their affinity and so forth, but if you just need a quick increase in power, it is there. And I wanted to focus on that create a character this time around because it is so different from the rest of the series. And yeah, going back to them, the designs of these characters are pretty out there. They are very plasticine, very doll-like. I've seen people compare it to having a realistic body, but putting an anime face over top of it, and they're not exactly wrong. But a lot of that seems smoothed over for the Definitive Edition release, so that is excellent to see. So what exactly do you get in the Create a Character? Well, that's the thing. There's not exactly a ton of options. It really does come down to the usual suspects. You have your different face types, your different ages. You can add moles, you can add scars, you can add face paint. You can change up a lot of different things for your character and very much get them customized to how you want them to be. I just fooled around a little bit and found characters I was pretty happy with within about 10 minutes. You're not going to spend hours with this, but you can also go as straight-faced as you want, or you can have a crazy purple creature with a big old X across their face if you really want. There is that variety in appearance depending on how much you want to take the game seriously, or if you just want to be crazy and just sort of like, there's a serious conversation going on, but my purple skin guy is just sort of standing there looking weird. And yeah, it's all basic. We've seen this stuff before. It's what you come to expect. I am curious whether or not there'll be more added, but I suspect not because we have had confirmation that this is based on the international release, so there probably won't be any more options than what we have already in the base game. And again, that's fine. I'm quite happy with the characters I'm able to make and think it's a pretty good step forward. Usually I'm not too into creative characters. I like having a character that I can attach to. But as I've said in previous videos, so much of Xenoblade Chronicles X is about bonding with the other characters, learning their story, that me being a voiceless presence never really bothered me. You learn things through your character does discover things. They may not react the way that you expect them to, and of course they're not really talking, but it's enough that you can sort of put yourself into that place and see how the various storylines play out, and of course you have all your dialogue options that will change up how certain things play out. But the thing that stands out to me most, and something I don't really see a lot, even in modern games, is we have our voice actor list. There's a lot of different voices that you can choose from in order to make them sound unique or fit with the character you've created. And it's so unfortunate that so many of these actors are relegated to just grunts and calling out attack names because there's an amazing cast here. Now, the regular cast is already stacked with some amazing actors. We got Caitlin Glass as Elma, who previously voiced Cammy in Street Fighters 4 through 6, Winry in Fullmetal Alchemist, and more recently Alcina in Unicorn Overlord. Then there's Lyn, who's voiced by Cassandra Lee Morris, who many people know as Morgana from Persona 5, Sothis from Fire Emblem Three Houses, and Adia from Bravely Default. And there's even other big name actors in there. Another character that pops up quite a bit is Lao, who's voiced by Matthew Mercer, who recently was Vincent in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, is Yusuke in Persona 5, Chrom in Fire Emblem, and Majima in Like a Dragon. These guys have a lot of talent, and we are going off a North American cast because the citizens are from New Los Angeles, so naturally they would have American accents rather than the British stylings of the other Xenoblade games. And it really is an all-star cast even beyond those three that I just mentioned. We got Ray Chase, Patrick Seitz, Kirk Thornton, Kaiji Tang, Jeremy Lee, Alexis Tipton. It's a stacked list of known actors in pretty notable roles. But the thing that's crazy to me, and again, I really do appreciate, is that the actors for your character's voice are all listed out. So rather than like, wait, is that who I think it is? No, they just tell you this is who they are. It honestly makes me wish that they were able to talk the entire time, but that would be so much dialogue for so many people that I can understand why they wouldn't do that. But there's some great picks here that I do want to highlight. Like, how many of you don't know Yuri Lowenthal, the voice of Insomniac's Spider-Man, Yosuke from Persona 4, Luke from Tales of the Abyss, Marth in Fire Emblem. Then there's Bryce Papenbrook, who is Makoto in Danganronpa, Silver in Sonic the Hedgehog, and Adol in the Yeast series. Keith Silverstein is currently Dalsum in Street Fighter VI, Shido from Persona 5, and even Dr. Wily in Mega Man 11. Robbie Damon started out as Tuxedo Mask in Sailor Moon, most recently voiced Mephiles in Shadow Generations, and is also well known for playing Akechi in Persona 5 and Hubert from Fire Emblem Three Houses. Then there's Ben Diskin, who was Mega Man in Mega Man 11, young Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts, and both Caspar and Lorenz in Fire Emblem Three Houses. And of course we have the throwback voice with Adam Howden, who of course played Shulk in Xenoblade, but is also known among some circles as playing Pippin in Final Fantasy XIV, and most recently played Roger Ward in Metaphor. So it's great to have him there if you still want to hear Shulk's grunts as you play through the game. The final voice option is Dan Warren, who voiced Igor in Personas 3 and 4, Byakuya in Bleach, and Arthur in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Infinite. So again, there's a stacked lineup here, and I'm only cherry picking some of the roles that these people have had. If you know voice actors, you know these names. And that of course carries over to the female option for the games, where Tara Platt is one of the voice actresses who voices Edelgard in Three Houses, Milia in Guilty Gear Strive, and Elizabeth from Persona 3 Reload. Kira Buckland is here, who is really blown up since this game, who just recently voiced Queen Dizzy in Guilty Gear Strive, is well known as 2B in Nier Automata, Jolene Cujo in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and even Trucy from Ace Attorney. Mary Elizabeth McGlynn may not have a ton of variety with her well-known roles, but the ones she does play, you know her voice, where she's Major Motoko from Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex and Beyond, Nina from Tekken, and Julia from Cowboy Bebop. Then there's Christina Valenzuela, who is now better known as Christina V, the voice of Hestu from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, both Shantae and Risky from the Shantae series, and Sailor Mars in Sailor Moon. Then, almost joining her, is Kate Higgins, the voice of Sailor Mercury in Sailor Moon, Purah in Tears of the Kingdom, and our voice of Pauline in the Mario series. And just like Adam Howden, we have to have one of the classic cast members here, where we have Karina Reeves, who played Fiora in the original Xenoblade, and is well known amongst Final Fantasy XIV players as playing Tataru. So it's great to have her here if you want to hear more of her voice. And finally, there's Aaron Fitzgerald, who voiced Genocide Jack in Danganronpa, Chie in Persona 4 Golden and Beyond, Anya in Bravely Default, and Bullet in BlazBlue. So yeah, the cast list here is incredible, which is crazy to me because I remember when Xenoblade Chronicles X first came out, a lot of people complained about the voice acting, and I think that's mainly due to the fact that they wanted their British voice actors there. And I get it, but this game features New Los Angeles. It makes sense to have a North American voice cast, and my god, did they go out of their way to get some great actors for this game. If you know your anime or video game voice actors, these people are some of the biggest in the industry, and some have blown up even further since the game was released. So I just thought that was fascinating. I found it interesting to go back through and look at the character creator and see what was possible, see how the options still hold up to this day. And it really caught my eye to see the actors actually listed out so you can see who you're choosing as your voice as you play through Xenoblade Chronicles X. I really hope that remains in Definitive Edition, but what about all you? Who would you pick as your character's voice? Who did you pick as your character's voice? And how do you feel about there being a creative character in this game rather than a character you're just set with like Shulk or Rex? Let me know in the comments, and of course be sure to subscribe to Good Vibes Gaming for more on Xenoblade Chronicles X, because I seriously can't stop talking about this game and other things gaming as well. Until next time, bye!